everybody. Welcome to the Workshop Podcast. I am Francis Bartholomew Valentine, but you can call me Frankie.
I am still very much Sarah Billiat.
And I am Patrick Caleri.
And we have a Frank somewhere. We don't know where he is. He may join us later. But we have a special guest this week.
Yay!
Joining us all the way from New Orleans is Dr. Catherine Connor. Hi,
Hello.
Kathy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
She's real.
I promised we delivered. Only took us some time. So, Dr. Connor, it's lovely to have you with us this evening.
Thank you for having me on.
So you're here because we begged you, right?
No, you didn't have to beg.
No, it was quite easy. I was like, "Hey, Kathy," and she was like, "I'll do it."
Because it's summertime. I'm teaching some online classes, but I'm not like slammed with, going the drive down to Nichols and like the 4 classes that I'm teaching there during the regular semester. It's not as busy. Yeah. Summer is like my low key time. I love it.
So do you teach the same classes year to year, or is it?
It depends. It's like a rotation. I always teach composition. We all do. So Nichols is kind of different that way because some colleges, they'll give the composition courses to like instructors and adjuncts. But at Nichols, ever since I was hired, it's always been everyone has to teach some comp. And I kind of think that's, even though I don't necessarily love teaching composition, I think that's a fair... I think it's good for the students because, you get different professors and so I teach 2 composition courses most semesters, sometimes 1. And then I always teach publishing practicum. And I always teach fiction seminar, which is in the fall every year. And then the rest of them kind of rotate out. It'll be like certain literature courses, a horror film course. I love teaching that. I teach that every couple years. So yeah, mostly it's stuff that it's kind of like on a rotation.
Okay. I know I took you for will you shut up? I took you for suspenseful
psychological thrillers. Yeah,
that's the one. Yeah.
See, now I teach that one just online in the summer. For some reason, it's just I think there's too many people teaching those special topics courses in person, and so they don't need me for that. But in the summer online I teach it. Okay. So it's the same class, but it's online. I prefer the in-person, when it's stuff like that, but I miss teaching that one in person because those are really fun, those books.
That was a whiplash thing going from undergrad to graduate, because graduate was all online for me, and like having that discussion in person, you get immediate feedback on whatever it is, whatever bullshit you're spewing. But online, like the professors will set it up. You have to make your initial post. It takes 30 minutes before you can see anything else anyone else is doing.
It's not ideal.
No, but it was so much nicer to get that. That it felt more like a book club than a class, honestly.
Yeah, which is fun. I think that's a great way for it to feel.
I will die on the hill that the Socratic seminar is the best way to have a literature course.
It's true. I think it's absolutely true.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are finally joined by the Frank.
Hello.
Hi, Frank.
Hey, Kathy.
How are you?
Good. It's been like 10 years since I've seen you.
I know. I'm old now. I got old.
I'm also old now. It's so cool.
No, I'm not old yet.
It's not cool. It sucks.
I get to be 40 this year. Come on, I get to be old. Yeah, next month I'll be 40. Yeah. July I'll be 40.
Well, I'm 46, so I'll tell you, it's not good. Once you get pushing, you're pushing.
It's not good.
I don't love it.
Yeah, it's not cool.
I will say, had I known that when you turn 30, they take away your subscription to Knees Weekly, I'd have died at 29. I just rolled over like, happy birthday.
I started at Nichols when I was 30. I feel like I was such a young, energetic baby when I started teaching there. Yeah.
I want to warn everyone that, like, it's not a joke. Like, the whole, oh, everything hurts when you're 30. Like, I know it's annoying to hear in your 20s. I know, but it is such a genuine warning. Like, it is so real.
I'm
Just get
sitting on
ready.
a special pillow because I have like pain up the back of my hamstring. I'm like, why is this happening? What did I do? I don't even know
Feel your
why.
butt.
It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I went to the emergency services or whatever because I had some pain in my back, and the nurse was just like, "Look, dude, like, just go sit down and don't move for a while." And I was like, I couldn't even lay down in my bed. I was like, I have to see a doctor, and they just told me like,
Oh,
"Suck it up, kid, get out of here."
it
More and more, it feels like
sucks.
going to the doctor is just telling them you're in pain and then just spreading their hands like, what do you want me to do about it? Like,
Yeah,
I
that
don't know.
just
Yeah, and then they
happens.
collect money from you after that. That's
Yeah. Well, they gotta
it
pay back those
sucks.
medical school bills. So
Yep.
Whatever. That I didn't make that choice for them.
Yep.
Uh,
it's when you go in for pain and they're instantly like, it's because of your weight. It's like, ma'am, I'm here for pink eye. Don't give me that shit.
That's bullshit.
It's like, in your professional opinion, I'm obese and I can't see on the right side. Just give me the fucking drops, man.
Um,
So, Kathy, what can you tell us about your book coming out August 4th, The Hanged Man?
well, it is linked stories, so there's recurring characters. Um, the reason that happened is because I was trying to write a novel, and then I was like, okay, this is not going to be a novel. So I just started turning it into separate stories about these sisters, but not every single story is linked. Is there one or two? There might be two in there that aren't connected, but almost all of them are connected. And so they're standalone, but you'll see like a recurring character, or they're like the sister of another character, and they all encounter their mother who's been missing for 6 years, who just like walked out of their lives. They all think that they encounter her. And it's kind of like a ghostly encounter. So you don't really know like what happened to her. And then I had to write a new one. When I got the publishing deal, she was like, I think you need to add one more from the mother's point of view. And that was really fun. I was like stressed out about it because I was like, oh my God, I gotta write another story for this. And I had a deadline. And then I did it and I was like, "Oh, this is actually really fun to do." And I kind of like it didn't it didn't provide a ton of closure, but it gives a little bit more insight into what she's doing this whole time when she's gone. So, anyway, she thinks that she has a medical disorder called walking corpse syndrome, which is like a real thing, but it's really rare. And people who suffer from it think that they are dead, and that they don't exist, or they think parts of their body have fallen off. And that's what inspired the whole book. Is that the mom?
Wow.
Yeah. So it's kind of gothic. It's a southern gothic collection.
Nice.
Yeah.
That sounds really cool.
How did you determine that it was not going to be a novel? Like what made you think that it wasn't going to be?
I couldn't figure out they just didn't the stories just did not add up in a way that was one narrative arc. So they were all stories with their own conflict, crisis resolution, each character having their own realization, and it just didn't in my mind it didn't work. I couldn't stretch it out. I couldn't make it because the collection is 150 pages, so it's not even as long as a novel. So it did not work out that way. I was like, I tried, and then like I put them all together, and it just wasn't the structure of it just didn't work. I think I could probably have done it now, but when I was writing them, I was so more in the short story mode that my mind just I couldn't figure it out. I could probably structure it now. Because I follow like different guidelines on structure for novel, because I have a lot harder time with the novel structure. Short stories to me are like, okay, you get it, you just get in there, rising action, but novels are just so long.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
let me steal all your knowledge once again. Like, what
Okay.
is the thing that you learned about writing a novel? Because I gotta say, like, I've been trying to write a novel, and the scope is so wide. Like,
Yeah.
I guess my main issues are like, number one, making the story long enough, but then like not ending up in a place where I now have to write 3 novels because the story's so long, it develops so much. Like, so what is your advice for somebody that's trying to write a novel?
I think basic structure, which is my issue, and pacing, I started looking at Save the Cat Writes the Novel. And it gives you like a beat sheet and you can actually break it down. And that doesn't always work. I mean, it doesn't mean it's automatically going to work, but it helped me a lot because I was like, okay, at this point in the novel, the bad guys are closing in and you can like interpret that any way you want, and then like the dark night of the soul is this part, and so that kind of helped me. The first novel I wrote, I didn't use anything but just intuition, and I had to rewrite it 3 times completely. Completely like a totally different book 3 times. So I'll write
Right.
like 3 novels. That's one novel. It takes me so long. I have a colleague now, y'all don't know her because she didn't start till after me. She writes romance novels and she can just like, I mean, they are done in 6 months. They're done, and I'm like, I don't know how she does this. She has children, young children. I don't know how she does it.
I'm so
They're
jealous
very
of those people.
I'm slow, and I'm just a slow writer in general. But that part of that is also because I don't just revise like and do a quick edit. It ends up becoming a whole different book, and that's kind of a problem I have. I do too heavy on the revision. I'm like, no, I'm kind of bored of this now. I'm just going to write a different book with these same characters, which is like
Totally.
it's not really the best way to do it. I don't think.
I don't think there really is a right or wrong way to do a novel, though. Like, because I mean, what's his name? Stephen King stick his head in a mountain of cocaine, and now we all have to enjoy it. So,
Well, we don't
Well,
all have a
but
mountain of
Cujo, he
cocaine.
wrote Cujo. He
Right.
doesn't remember writing one word. He said he does not remember writing one word of Cujo. And if you've ever read Cujo, it makes sense because there are things in Cujo that just don't add up. And I'm like, what's happening? I read that when I was a teenager, and I remember thinking, this is a weird, like this. And then I read his book on writing, and I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
explains so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Stuff's
because
adding up
he was
now.
on so many drugs. He doesn't remember writing it.
See, I wish
I
I
love
was one
Stephen
of those
King. I think
people
he's
that was.
great.
I wish
Well,
I was one
Kanan
of those
write it.
people that was productive on drugs, but
I
like.
know.
Yeah.
No, you just
Okay.
haven't taken the right ones,
Yeah.
I think, is the message.
Like,
You
I would
gotta
just-
combine them all in different ways until you find
Yeah.
your super drug.
I can't
You take an
imagine.
upper
Yeah,
and
I
a
can't
downer.
imagine that.
All right,
Take an
you
upper
guys
and a
have to
downer.
you guys all have to pay for my detoxing over the next 10 years as I
Yeah.
found a miracle drug that helps me be a novelist.
That's where the book sales come in. Like,
Right.
Well,
This
that's like One
podcast
Flew
is
Over
going to
the
take off, Patrick. It'll pay for your addiction. It's fine.
There you
pay
go.
for your rehab at least.
For me to write, so
There
it's
you
all
go.
great.
why
It's
did
like
he
One
relapse?
Flew Over the
That's people.
Cuckoo's Nest was like written completely like zonked out on LSD, and like
Really?
it's even stated that like the novel would not have been possible without the perspective that LSD provided.
Ken Kesey?
So what?
Ken Kesey? That's his
Yeah.
name.
Yeah, that's what the guy. I read something one day about it. And
I didn't
I
know
don't
that. I love that
I
book.
couldn't
That
tell
book is
you
really
where, but
good.
yeah, it's like the LSD gives this like high level perspective over the whole thing and let him like comprehend what it was like to be a totally insane person in multiple different ways. So it was cool back then when you could just be like, go over and be like, hey, not a CIA agent, can I have some of that
Yeah, that
drink
was the
over there?
60s. That was the
Yeah, that
60s.
shit
That
made
book
me
is
feel
really
cool.
good. That book is really good, actually. I need to reread that book. I remember that book being so interesting.
I've not read the book, but I have
1962.
seen the movie.
The movie's good too. It's a good interpretation of the book.
Well, it's interesting to me that you said you made the point that short stories are easier for you because while I do commiserate on the length of the novel, just because I mean it is a novel. It is you've got to write at least 100,000 words or so on some odd
80,000. You can get away with like 75.
80,000.
I don't write
Um,
long books. I'm not a long form writer. It just too long. It's 100,000 is too long for me.
See, I've always found that it's the opposite that's true for me only because I worry that I'm not hitting emotional beats right or story beats right in such a short span of time, I guess. How do you make someone engaged with the character? How do you make sure they're actually getting the emotion as opposed to you just showing rather than telling. So I guess what is your advice, or what did you find works best for you when it comes to the pacing of your own short stories?
That's a good question. I think my stories are all kind of long actually. Like I don't write super short story. I was never a flash fiction writer.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more of a those are almost like prose poems, they're just different kind of writing. So I
Mm-hmm.
always had room to sort of flesh. Most of my stories are about 5,000 words. So about what is that, like 15 pages or something. So I
Yeah.
always had room to flesh out the character, but to me it was how I learned to write fiction was through short stories in workshop when I was in undergrad and then grad school. And so I think it just started to come naturally, and I would open like you want to open up like almost immediately in the conflict or as close to the introduction of it as you can. Then it gives you time to build, and you just show as you go along, the characters' interaction with the world and how they interpret the world around them reveals what they want, right? And it's easier for me to think about a character and what they want and them being trying to get what they want and how they change in a short space than it is like the novel. I get, it takes me so long that I get like that I start to lose all the pieces in my head and I have to kind of like remember to write them down. And whereas a short story you can write much quicker. But yeah, I think it's a matter of like what you strip away, and everything has to be important and significant. You don't have the room to play around that you do in a novel. So you have to like strip all that other stuff out. I think one thing to do is like flesh out your character in a notebook or something, and then figure out, do I need this in this story or can I cut it? And how does it work if I cut it? And jump cut to the next scene, and you don't actually need that part. But yeah, it's sort of a balancing act because it's you don't have a lot of space to really get those beats in there, and they're different beats than you would have in a novel because they're just compressed.
Right. And like you said, I mean, I appreciated what you said about you have to start in the middle of the conflict, or like you said, as close to it as possible, because you can't burn 1,000 words setting up the world or setting
Yeah.
up what's going on. You have to roll with it. And I do
Yep.
appreciate that, because it does make I feel like it makes the world itself that you're describing more lived in, because
Yeah.
you're not taking a step back as the author and saying, this is the hometown or this is the best friend. You're just,
Yeah.
experiencing it as the
Yeah,
reader.
you can't do any of that in a story unless it's important to the story. It started to get to the point with novels now that they the agent that I had, I don't know if I haven't spoken to her in so long, but she was like, I need this to start sooner, the conflict sooner. And I was following the beat sheets from Save the Cat. And I was like, wait, I've got to establish the character. And even now, it's like, I think with people's attention spans getting so short,
Mhm.
they think. But then, like,
I
when
blame
I'm
mine.
reading, like, I just finished reading a book called The Adjunct, and that book like meanders around and she's like all in her head, and enjoyed it. So I'm like, I think it's kind of like what publishing wants in some ways, and I think they are wanting books that start fast, and they pull
Mhm.
you in because they think their reader's going to abandon it. But not all readers are going to abandon it. There's literary fiction, you have more room to have your quiet moments. And I hate that they're pushing a get back against that a lot now, and literary fiction is kind of not doing as well on the market from what I hear. I don't know how true that is, but that's what I hear. um a lot of literary writers will kind of genre bend to get around that. They'll like, it'll be like literary horror, or
Yeah.
literary suspense, which is what I kind of write. So that helps, but then it can still be the feedback that I got when my novel was on submission. It was a lot of it was, it's too literary.
Really?
The twists aren't big
Wow.
enough because she was trying to sell it. My agent was trying to sell it as this they call upmarket, which is like book club fiction. But
Okay.
I didn't write it that with that in mind. I wrote it as
Yeah.
literary, like focusing on the language, and
Mhm.
so it wasn't fast paced enough, and Ugh,
Yeah,
I
because
still
I
have it.
think they
Hopefully one day I'll still publish it. I still believe in that book.
Oh
because they
yeah.
Because
routinely
Oprah
say
has a
that.
short, yeah, because Oprah has a short attention span.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Okay
the
then.
thing. I mean,
Yeah.
and it's kind of insulting too. You would hope that publishing companies would also trust their readers a little bit more. In that, yes, I do understand we all are losing attention span, but if there's anyone that is going to appreciate long form content, it is people that read novels.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
not, if
I
there's anyone
think
that's going to be willing to wait for the payoff.
right. I think what they do, the big companies, the big publishing companies, what they do is they follow what the trends are. So with book talk, I don't know how big that is anymore. I'm not on TikTok,
It's
but I know
yeah.
for a while it was really influencing what was being sold to
Gee.
publishers. So like romantasy got huge, that genre because
Yep.
of the internet, because of social media,
Hmm.
and now I think it's kind of oversaturated some, and so too many people have written romantasies. But I think self pubbing those is actually works out for people because they have a built-in kind of fan base.
Mhm.
Whereas
Mhm.
like literary fiction, if you self-publish it, nobody's going to read it because it's
Right.
not romance. Like romance, I would self-publish that. If I wrote romance and I couldn't get a book deal, I'd be like, you know what? I'm going to build an audience and I'm going to self-publish this. But it doesn't work for the kind of stuff that I write. Um, but yeah, they also what publishers are now doing is chasing already successful self-published writers because they don't
Yeah.
want to take a risk. They want
Mhm.
Yeah.
a money making.
They
They're
want
like,
the
oh,
paycheck.
this book is selling really well. This self-pub book, I'm going to offer them a traditional publishing deal. And it's like, oh my God, this just, and some of them, most of them say yes because they can't turn down the money, but some of them I think don't want to give up the freedom they have with
Hmm.
self-publishing because they have the freedom
Yeah.
over everything, which is I think awesome.
Oh
And they
yeah.
already have the built-in fan. I mean, yeah, you will reach technically a larger audience, but then yeah, that comes with the contract and
Yeah,
whatnot.
you don't get to pick your book cover. I mean, they'll give you options, but
Yeah.
you don't get to like commission someone. I got several good options from my small press. I really liked working with them. But a
Mhm.
small press is different. They can spend more time with you. I've heard
Mhm.
horror stories from people published by one of the big five publishers, um, where they just get neglected and then like their book just tanks because they didn't get any marketing
Mhm.
and
Hmm.
they expect it to do well. Like a small press book, they don't expect my book to be like some big seller. It's just not going to happen. It doesn't happen with small press books.
Right.
But it's still like it's more like it's a literary small press, and I like that. I like that it doesn't feel like, oh, you got to really market yourself and push this yourself because your publisher's not going to do it. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, a
It's,
lot of times they will actually require that a writer have certain, like a following, and you have certain number of followers, or you're making XYZ a month, or you have so many years out there
Nonfiction,
with
they do.
socials.
Nonfiction, they definitely do. If you're trying to publish nonfiction, creative nonfiction or
yeah.
memoir, they want you to have a platform.
Yeah.
Um,
So man.
That
Fiction,
makes
they,
sense though.
yeah, I think it does too. Fiction, they do not require it, but more and more they do look at it. And they used to always say, no, this is not something we look at. But I do think they do more
Oh,
than
for
they
Mhm.
admit.
sure.
But
Yeah,
that
they
doesn't mean
want to
you
make a
can't.
good bet.
Yeah, and that doesn't mean you can't sell a book without a big platform, even to a big press. You can, but it's the onslaught of like self-published books, especially now with AI, because AI is really flooding the market.
Yeah.
Um, it just people get lost in all of that shuffle, because there's just so much out there.
Right.
It sucks. I hate that. I hate AI because there's some really good self-published writers and they're probably furious because, like I
We
hear that
are.
Kindle Unlimited has a ton of AI books on it
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
Kindle, whatever it is. Kindle, I don't know what's it called when you self-publish on Kindle. I don't know what that's called.
Yeah, you can practically publish directly to Amazon. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like blast something out. But I don't know. I mean, the market's getting saturated with a lot of books, even before AI became big. I mean, you got services like Grammarly and stuff like that have been helping people. And so, there's more books being written now than ever. And I don't think we get to really be the ones who like squeeze the sponge and find out where the good stuff is. But we'd be lucky. Any of us would be lucky to read one of the great books of like this time period, realistically.
I think more people are writing and less people are reading, which is really odd to me. Because I'm like, why do you want to write if you don't read? I'll have students that'll say, and they're just in like 300 level fiction workshop. They're probably not like, I'm going to be a writer. But I'll ask them, like, what are you reading right now? And they'll be, well, I don't really read. And I'm like,
You cannot.
If you have to be a reader. Yeah. Like that's got to be part of it.
That's literally impossible.
It's like your research.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I always tell myself, I read so many novels in the summer and I'm like, oh, I need to be writing. But I'm like, well, this is part of it.
Exactly. That's right. Research.
Yeah. You're learning new tricks just every page you read.
There you go. It's true though. It's how you learn to write better. It's through reading.
I wholeheartedly believe that writers who don't read are the same people who are writing books with terminology like baby flume or giggling breasts. Have you seen that? Yeah, that's like
we've and it's interesting because we've talked multiple times on this show about how the publishing process as we've known it is shifting drastically, and it's not. If any of us were to get published, it probably would not be in the way that resembled what we originally thought. And the pros and cons of that. I mean, and the benefit to it being that you can, there's always a part of everyone that loves, of someone that likes to write that hopes that they can reach a huge audience, and that'd be a fun little pipe dream. But when you kind of realize that you have to shift your expectations and maybe start thinking other ways, it helps you focus more on the craft itself and improvement for improvement's sake as opposed to anything else.
Yeah, well, you're not trying to write toward what an agent's telling you to do, or like what an editor, if you try to chase trends, you're going to be behind, because by the time your book in traditional publishing, by the time your book would even come out is like literal years since you've written it. So people that are like, okay, I'm going to write this, they have to be a really fast writer. And I'm like, that book Yesteryear that just came out, did y'all read that or hear about it? Yesteryear. It's like huge. It's everywhere. It's a very on trend, like perfectly timed book. And I think she wrote it super fast. And it was a good book. I liked it. But I'm not that kind of writer. I don't know how people do that. I think you have to have a lot of time. And she's a podcast host. I don't remember the name of her podcast. I haven't listened to it. I should. I heard it's really good. But she probably like set herself all this time to like, okay, I'm going to do it. And it came out at the right time. But other people that are slower, you're going to miss. Like, it's chasing a trend isn't really worthwhile. Because by the time it comes out, unless you're self-publishing, of course, because then you can drop it when it's done,
Yeah.
But I just like, I'm not a marketer. I don't know how I couldn't market I hate even doing it for the little I'm doing for my book, which is just like Instagram posts and stuff. I always have like, oh, it's so cringe.
It makes me sick.
I'm cringing at myself. Yeah.
Truly.
But you have to do it because nobody else is going to do it. Like, your publisher will put some stuff out there, but you have to promote yourself a little bit at least.
I think you mentioned that you're going to be doing a party or a launch.
Yeah, it's a book launch. It's going to be at Garden District Bookshop in New Orleans on August 15th. At 5 p.m. And I'm nervous about it. Basically it's going to be a Q&A. I don't want to do like a long reading or anything. I do want to set up something smaller at Nichols in September. I've got to get that figured out. I was thinking just in a classroom, not a big thing, but just something down there too, because those are the two places where I think I would have more turnout. So I might have another thing in Nichols. That's like it's kind of like another launch, but not the first one, not the official launch. And it'll be like a month after the book is out. So
are you going to be that professor who assigns your own book?
No, I would never do that. No, no,
I
no.
would. All right, kids,
I
let's
would
see what Tanner's
never
gonna
do
do
that.
next.
I think that is unethical because it's like I'm making them pay for,
Yeah.
to buy. I can't do that. I would not do it.
You could be
It
one of
would,
the school professors and give them the PDF.
it would be it would be quite the power move to read all 150 pages at the launch party and refuse to let people read until you're done. Like,
Lock them in there.
That is Andy Kaufman level amazing.
I think people have a hard time listening. Like whenever there's a reading, my mind even drifts.
Yeah.
So it is, I think a Q&A is better. And I'm having my colleague who's the romance writer do the Q&A with me because I've been to all her book launches and she is so good at it. And I think that she really knows how to carry a conversation that doesn't go on for too long and that keeps people kind of entertained. Um, and she never reads at hers. She just does the Q&A. I might read for like 5 minutes and that's it. And then I'm going to Q&A. So, but I am nervous about it. But it's probably just going to be like people I know. I don't think it's going to be like the public.
Go out there's 2,500 people lined up, and you're like, they
They're
give you
all
the
cheering.
Sharpie, and you're like, oh no.
Yeah, that's
Right.
not gonna happen. It should be low pressure, but it still makes me nervous.
For sure.
I'll invite everyone
That's
at my
good.
job to go to the book launch. We'll all go there.
Oh my god! And I'll be like, I'm so sorry that y'all came to this. I don't know what it's gonna be like. Here's my book.
I'm so sorry.
Anyway,
I'm gonna talk to the school board and see if we can get the hangman put on the curriculum and be like, this is what happens when you don't use AI, kids. You too can be a good author.
It's kind of weird. I don't know that the children would like it. It's a weird book.
probably not for them.
Where
My
I
mom
teach
is
the
gonna
children
be
don't
like-
like anything, so it's fine.
My mom is still like, what does the hanged man mean? She's like, does somebody get hanged in it? I'm like, no, Mom, it's a tarot card.
I love
It has a
that.
lot of. It's named after the tarot card, and it has a lot of tarot references in it. So she's like,
I love that her very first assumption is
Please, Kathy, tell me who dies so I can prepare myself.
she does not. She is not her thing at all. I mean, she's gonna buy it. She's already pre-ordered it, but like, it's just not her thing. So it's gonna be funny. If her trying to read it, I'm picturing she's gonna be like, what is happening? I mean, there's like a this whole like collection of medical deformities at some dude's house in one story, and then in another one someone is like astral projecting and double walking, and then like in another one she thinks she sees a ghost but she doesn't know if it's a ghost, and then they go, it's just not for my mom. It's like not yeah.
Yeah, I'm understanding more of the Southern Gothic now description with those.
Yeah, the alternate cover should just say "Not for your mama."
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, not for your mom.
The dedication is equal to the Russell Brand one for My Bookie Book. For my mom, I love you. Now, please, for the love of God, don't read this.
What so how long had you said, you mentioned that you kind of work slowly with this kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. How long had you been working on this collection?
Oh, that's a hard question because so what I would do is like rotate stories in and out of it, and then send it to. So I sent it out myself to like book contests that I knew were legit presses,
Mm-hmm.
And I would change it up a little bit here and there. Some of the stories are really old, actually. I'm like, oh my god, I wrote these a long time ago. And some of them, one of them is like really new. So it kind of spans like a decade. Of my time, but not in the book time. But yeah, it's different than writing a novel because you can piece it together that way. Like my dissertation was a story collection from when I graduated with my PhD, and none of those stories are in the book. But I remember with that collection, the way I ordered it felt so important. It was like, what story should come first, and what should be in the middle, and what should be at the end. And this one, I kind of just winged it, and somehow it worked. But yeah, I had submitted it to many contests, and it was a finalist like 5 times at different contests. And I was like, because I was a finalist, but it was even like second runner up one time. And it never quite pushed through. And then the press that took it was Black Lawrence Press. It was a finalist again, but it didn't win. But she called me and she was like, we want to publish 2 of the finalists, and you're one of them. And I started crying because I was like, oh
Aw.
my God, it was such a long process. And it had been like, it kept getting so close,
Mhm.
which is how I knew not to give up too, because it's like it kept getting
Yeah.
close. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's how you know it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought, I just got to keep trying with it because
Mhm.
my novel had just died on submission and I was all depressed about that. And I was like, well, I still have this story collection that I think is really good still. I'm proud of it. And, I was getting validation because it was getting, shortlisted for these book prizes, but it was book prizes to publish it, right? Not like after publication prizes. Those are different.
Right.
So it's like if you didn't win, you didn't get published. But every now and then, a place that has a prize will publish some of the finalists, and that's what happened. So that was really exciting.
And it does take a very resilient person as well
Yeah.
to keep. I mean, I have only submitted a couple of things here and there over my time, but even in that short span, I mean, it's hard getting to know. So I can't even
You have
imagine.
to push through the no's. I have a file that is probably 30 pages long of no's. And then I'll show my students my submittable account, which is where you got to, a lot of times you have to submit through submittable. And I'll show it to them sometimes in publishing practicum and just scroll through and it's like rejected, 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 accepted, rejected, rejected, rejected. It's almost all, and that is every writer. That's almost every writer. It really is. It is
Yeah.
part of it. It sucks, but it's just what happens. It's just like, and it can be the same exact piece. Somebody's like, no, this doesn't work. And then all of a sudden it gets picked up by somebody else. Because a lot of it is subjective. It gets to that point where it's like, if it's good enough, then it becomes a matter of, did you hit the right person at the right time?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a
That
good
is a
point.
lot. That is a lot of the learning to be a writer, learning to accept the fact that you can't please all the people all the time, and all those people are going to read your work. Like it's not what works for one is not going to work for another.
Well, and then people
Yeah.
they get bad reviews, and I'm not anticipating a lot of reviews because it's not like a big splashy like big press book, but people who do get books out with that like do really well and they're like they will get the worst reviews on Goodreads, and I'm like, why are people so mean? I'll read them and I'll be like, this is like so mean, just like they just, and then they'll yell at the author if the author says anything publicly about the reviews. You can't do that. The readers will just be like, this is not your space, this is a reader space, and it's like, well, yeah, but the authors see it.
Yeah.
Right.
There's
And
no
readers have a right. They have
period.
a right to their opinion, but it's sometimes I'll be like, what? Because they'll be like, this character is the dumbest character that's ever been created, and I'm like, damn, that is so hard.
That's deep, man.
Like, how many characters have you created?
The
And
dumbest.
Butterfinger
meanwhile, I'm like,
947.
this book is really good. I'm coming to give it 4 stars, and they're like, this book is terrible. I'm like, whoa. So you just people's taste is very different.
Oh,
Yeah.
There's nothing worse than enjoying a book and then going on to Goodreads and finding out why it's trash.
But this guy, someone posted one time, I didn't know the person, but they posted something like if it was like a 3.5, they knew they were going to like it, like average rating. I'm like, yeah, that's probably about right, because the ones that are like really highly rated are usually the really mass market type of books.
Right.
And the ones that are more divided, those are usually the ones that I like. They have less, they're usually in the 3s because people are like, I hate this character, and I'm like, yeah, well, that's why I liked it, because the character was so unlikable, or they think it's like they don't like the pacing, and I'm like, I was totally sucked in, just different things that people don't like. Some people will be like, this is crass, and it's like, okay, well, it just wasn't for you.
This isn't the
I just
Bible.
read,
What are we
somebody had
reading?
written it was crass, and I was like, why? Because she talks about sex, I guess. Like, I mean, there's some sex in the book, but it didn't seem crass to me. It was just like
she didn't even
there.
say baby flume. Like,
Yeah.
It's the people that also clutch their purse when they read Catcher in the Rye. So
Yeah.
1 star. There was no catching of any rye. I'm so angry.
There you go.
Rye was only mentioned once.
I thought this was a baseball story.
I saw people attack a debut writer. None of this was anything I would ever read, because I don't read fantasy really, but it was I ran across it on, I think it was back when Twitter was still Twitter. And now I'm not on there anymore because it's just nothing but cesspool, BS. But it used to be kind of fun because you could like watch the drama unfold. Like there's a lot of writers on there, and
Mm-hmm.
but this was sad because this girl had written this book, and I think it got like a pretty big book deal, and it was, God, what was the book called? I can't remember, but it was a fantasy book, and it was like based on Chinese history, and she was Chinese American, and she started getting basically review bombed by people in like the writer community because they said it was a colonizer romance where like the main character falls in love with the person who's like a, but it was it's a book series, and apparently like in the next book that was all going to like go haywire, and but they attacked this book's ratings on Goodreads, and I remember the book hadn't even been out yet, and I felt like that girl must have been, she was really young, and she must have been so excited when
Mhm.
she got that book deal, and that must have killed her because it was
Yeah.
big enough that like it was like all over social media that it was happening. Like, and that just, I thought, God, that would ruin your whole debut experience, like with your first novel coming out. So yeah, sometimes it can be bad.
when
Awful.
when you write, do you think about your audience and stuff like that, or do you write
Yeah, I mean,
primarily for yourself?
no, I think about, it's both. I think about audience because I have to think like, does this make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Would they follow this to this? If somebody was reading this, would they be able to connect this to this? And how would this keep them? But then, like, I'll go back in and change, like, edit language. And that's more, I think that's more for me because I'm like, I'm not really, this is kind of flat and I want this to be more interesting. And I'm just going to like push it further. But yeah, I think that I always think about whether it would be something that I would want to read, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of the best thing to do is like, is this something I would want to read? Um, and it's good to think about how you might market it. I think that is good. I used to would have said, no, don't do that as you're drafting. But now I feel like it's kind of like you have to know how you're going to pitch it at some point.
Yeah.
Um,
Elevator
because
pitch.
you're going to have to pitch it in a query to an agent, or if you're sending it directly to a publisher, you're gonna have to pitch it somehow.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. Do
Queries
you
are always
ever
fun.
do
yeah.
you like give your work to beta readers before you try
I
to
have like
publish?
that's okay. So that's one area where I feel like I have really dropped the ball because I was listening to my colleague Alex at her last book launch, which was like 2 weeks ago, and she was talking about, she was up there with another writer who was like her good friend, and she was talking about how they had gone. She had given her like every section to read, and they had gone back and forth on titles, and I thought that is such a great way to get like to collaborate. And I am too precious about my stuff, and I stopped giving it to people. Like I don't even want to give it to Tom, my partner, until I'm like almost done because I'm like, what if he doesn't like it? And then I don't want to finish it. I think that it is, I think that you can probably write faster if you give your work to people,
Mhm.
even maybe before, like even chapter by chapter. So I'm trying to do that, but I had gave this last book I wrote to a friend of mine, and she liked it, but it was more like I could tell she liked the first book I wrote better, and then my agent didn't like it. So it was like, okay, well, I'm going to rewrite this book completely, and it's like a totally different book now.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm going to give it to Tom after I'm done with it. But I don't know if I want to do it beforehand because it makes me nervous.
Yeah.
I doubt Tom would just be like, "This is shit." Like,
No, he
he's pretty
wouldn't, but
constructive.
he might find areas that need work, and then I would probably start rethinking everything, and I wouldn't push through because I know
Mm-hmm.
how I am. As a writer, I like to go back and make it like I want it all to be like done as I go, which is not a good way to do it because you don't, it makes you slow. That's why I'm so
You got to
slow.
get to the end at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's my problem too. Because I gave my novel to my cousin, who I fully trust to be an honest beta reader, and I was so excited for her feedback, and she tore it to pieces because she
Oh,
found a plot hole, and I was like, well, now I have to redo the whole thing because
See, I think it's really good to have people like that because that probably makes the book better, and it will
Mhm.
make it better. My first book, the one that I ended up getting an agent for, I did not I didn't have anybody read it. No, my sister read it, but it was wildly different by the time I got an agent because I kept getting feedback from agents, and I was like, okay, I'm going to use this feedback, and then I would like revise it from their feedback.
Mhm.
But I don't think that's ideal. I think it's better to have a group of trusted, like a community of people, and I'm just not good at that. I think the older I got, the more the older, and I think this is common, like the older you get, kind of the smaller your world kind of is.
Mm.
And I don't really I don't really share as much as I should, which I could, I could share with like some of my colleagues, but I think that's a thing that I am not great at, that I need to be better at. And not being so like precious about it. Like, no, I don't want
Mhm.
anyone to see this yet,
Yeah. Well, I'd say
Right,
it
like
also,
they can
I think,
only see it once it's perfect, but it'll never truly be perfect. It's
It's never
only
gonna
as
be
perfect
perfect.
as you can make it.
Exactly. It's never going to be perfect. And I know all that from workshop, and I teach that to my students in workshop. Oh, you need your peers feedback. And then
Mhm.
here I am like, no, nobody can. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's not my
like,
precious.
for you,
and I used to be really good at that when I was in workshop. You'd be nervous, but it was like I could take the feedback, and it normally, yeah, some of it stung, but I would listen to who I thought got what I was
Mhm.
trying to do. And but you get out of that environment for so long, and then it's kind of like,
Yeah.
I'm scared to
And I feel
share.
like in workshop, like especially in college, it doesn't matter as much as it does when you're trying to publish something for
Hmm.
the entire public to see
yeah,
versus, these 10 people that you've had, you know, 6
And
classes with
people are really
already.
nice in workshop. They don't want to be mean.
well, yeah,
Um,
Maybe
that's
I
not the
now.
was
case in
mean.
grad
Yeah,
school.
you were.
If you go to grad school for creative writing, people will sometimes be very harsh. At least back in my day. I don't know if they're different now, but back in my day, people would be like, this is not working. I feel this feels like a gimmick, or they would just, they would be very, but it was helpful.
yeah,
Um, I still use some of their people. I still remember this one person who wrote on my story that dialogue should be more interesting than real speech. And I still think about that, and I still say that sometimes to my students. And that just to me meant like stripping away the small talk.
Mm.
yeah.
Um so yeah, I mean, I think you can get a lot out of it, but it depends on who's in class with you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're usually looking. It's interesting because you're looking for someone that's uniquely credentialed when you're looking for someone to be a beta reader
Yeah.
for something you're looking to potentially publish, because you are looking for someone that will kind of
Yep.
gloves off tell you without trying to be cruel, but if they don't like something or whatnot. and and we've talked about this before sometimes, about how sometimes it's difficult to just drag out of people the why too. It's like, I didn't, or I liked this. It's like, okay, but what about this did you like? Or like,
Yeah.
I need more than just good bad. I need
Yeah.
your real
Yep.
reactions.
Like, where did you start losing steam? Where did you lose interest? And what do you think it was? The people that can answer why are probably also writers, or like people that do editing, or just, read a lot. But um I think having other writers read your work is good because they can give you the more of the analysis of
Mhm.
why, like this is what where the it, but as long as they're not trying to make it more like their own, you got to put your personal preference aside. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I do need to do that more, and I get so nervous to do it. Like I'd rather
Just
just
like
I'd rather just
create a
send it out and
pseudonym,
like,
create a
huh?
pseudonym, and go make a Substack and just start publishing random stuff.
Yeah, but
You'll
if you
fi-
do that, then it's out there and you can't publish it.
but you don't publish your finalized works. You just publish like, hey, I just scrapped this thing together, and it's like a thought that I'm working on, and you just throw it out there, and then you
Yeah.
get yourself a little audience.
I would like to write a horror novel and use a pen name. I would love to do that.
Do it. Do
Do
I
it.
don't
it.
need a pen name though, because like nobody knows who I am. But if I was like trying to still, if I was like, okay, I'm a literary writer, but I wanted to write a horror novel that was just straight up horror, I would probably, if you genre shift, some people do pen names.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that'd be fun.
Do that and then steal an alias from one of your students.
No,
Oh,
I think you just
Don't even
switch the
ask
C and the
permission.
K. You switch the C and the K.
yeah.
You're
My colleague,
happy.
who's the romance writer, she has a pen name, and it's just the last name is different. That's all.
Yeah.
I outed her to my students. I was like, and once she got tenure, she said I could. She said I could once she got tenure because she was
There
like,
you go.
no, I'm writing like romance. It's got like sex in it and stuff. And they were like looking her up, and they were like, oh my god, she has like 10,000 followers on Instagram. I'm like, yeah, she's got like a fan base. But she writes Regency romance, and it's like that's a whole different world from what I write. I don't really even understand it, the whole world. They have a great community. The romance readers and writers, like they really like bond. And
They're
I'm like, that,
hardcore.
yeah,
And
they're
from what
very hardcore.
from what the two of you have discussed, because I'm sure you have as colleagues, is there a significant difference in the publishing process of what you've gone through?
No, she
No.
was her agent was at the same agency as mine, and she went on sub the same way I did. And I think she even had fewer publishers that it could be sent to because only a certain number of publishers will look at a Regency romance. But hers got picked up, and mine didn't. And I was so sad, and like it took a long time to get over that. But no, it's the same type of thing. Now the difference is here's what she did that was really smart, and I don't think this would work for what I write. When she was on sub, she released a novella self-published through a newsletter. And so she had people like sign up for my newsletter to get my free novella. And
Right.
she started gaining followers that way. And she is much better at networking than I am. And she also like knew a lot of people in the romance book community. And so I think that was really good. And that helped her before her book even came out. She had a novella. And then she had like a whole string of novellas. And then eventually her press, St. Martin's Press, published all those novellas together too. So she ended up getting an actual book deal for those self-published books.
Nice.
But that was smart. And I
Yeah.
thought, I wonder if I could do that. But then I was like, no, because I don't think that works as well unless it's genre writing. I think is better for that, especially romance. But
Yeah.
I thought it was like, and she's so good at like locking in. She's locked in, and I'm like, dang, I don't know how she focuses that well, but I thought that was a really good marketing technique, and I think she really enjoyed writing those novellas too.
Oh, yeah.
And then she got a bunch of newsletter subscribers, and then she got more people following her social media. So
Who would have thought a
but that wasn't
newsletter
required.
campaign?
She didn't have to do that to go on submission, but it did help, I think, a little bit when she got.
Mhm.
But it wasn't she didn't have a ton of followers when she got her first book deal. So it really happened like kind of over the whole process of it.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And that's something you could try. Like I think that's a very smart technique. Like let me give something free to people and get a built-in fan base. And then I'll start with she was like, if this book doesn't get picked up from a traditional publisher, I'm going to self-publish it. And I was like, okay, because that made sense. At that point, she already had people that would buy something.
Yep.
So
Yeah. Just goes to show that you just look at it from different angles.
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people doing that exact process, really, because when you subscribe to someone on Substack, you like get an email from them every time they post something, and so you can get their whole story in your email that they just posted or their whatever they posted up. But you'll have people who will start giving you excerpts, or they'll say, if here's the thing, if you sign up for the newsletter, I'll send you a chapter. And they start sending you a chapter. Now you're 15 chapters in, and hey, the book's coming out. And so it's like, okay, well, I'm going to go and pre-order this book.
What are the genres that do that, do you think? Is it like fantasy?
It's like, I read a lot of speculative fiction. So it's kind of like, halfway in between like sci-fi and fantasy.
I think
is
you can
where
do
you see
that.
it.
I think you can do that in sci-fi. I think you can do it in horror to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
I think romantasy is probably like the most that people do. But I also think people are starting to like, that market is getting so saturated. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't read those, but I do read some speculative. But yeah, I think if you like, even like a straight up crime thriller, you could probably do that.
Oh, for sure.
Um,
You could serialize something like that.
Almost like a Penny Dreadful, where it's like it comes
Next
out
to
once.
Monte Cristo.
Yeah, I mean, that's a cool idea. I like that idea.
And you
As
could
long as
even
you can,
like you could even do like an element of a story, like something that carries the reader along if they follow week by week, but there's a lot still that you don't, publish out there. So then you're kind of leading them with that hook to say, hey,
yeah,
like if you like this, and then now you can pre-order, and then you can like have the Patreon page where you're exposing even more of your story, and maybe certain people who donate enough become your 200 people who you can throw your story at,
yeah.
and they're your good reviewers,
Yes, people do this, and it has become so much more legit. Back in the day, self-publishing was like, oh, you didn't get a publisher. It's
Yeah.
not like that anymore. There's a lot of
I,
people now who don't even like, that's what they want to do. They just want to self-publish. And
yeah,
I don't blame them. I think if you can make money doing that, that's great. I think that's
yeah.
awesome.
Plus, I mean, it doesn't. At the end of the day, it's not harming anyone. It takes a little bit more power back from the publishing companies, and you're not forced to buy anyone's self-published
Yeah.
nonsense. I mean, we're all within
If
our
you're an
right.
academic though, like me, I needed a book because I wanted to go out for promotion, and
Yeah.
that needed to be. You can't a self-published book does not count for that. So
Yeah, I
there are
got
some like people that are in academia. It's like it's still worthwhile to even go small press. It's like prestigious
because
because
there is still that element that you
it's
need
yeah,
to. Okay,
and it's
interesting.
reputable, and it's like I know you're not, it's like you know going in, okay, I'm not going to make a ton of money from this, but it's it's still a way to get my book out there, and it's a good press, and it's the kind of stuff that publishes literary fiction. A lot of them are smaller presses or university presses,
Hmm.
um, and those are those people, they go through the same process, and it's hard to get those books accepted too, and
Yep.
they can look beautiful, they can have beautiful covers, and I would do it. I would do a university press too. I like Black Lawrence Press a lot. I really do. Um, they've been really communicative, and they've been good.
Yeah, you said it seemed a lot more of a intimate relationship or a close
Yeah,
relationship than.
yeah, yeah. I just like email directly with the editor, the main editor there all the time. She'll be like, "Okay, check these out. Here's the proofs." And I mean, it's just not. You don't feel like you have to go through a whole bunch of different people to talk to the person in charge. You just right there talking. It's good. I like it a lot. I would consider sending my novel to them too. I
Hmm.
haven't done that yet, only because I think once you get, they say that if you start like short story collection is a different genre,
Mhm.
and the what used to be the case was that if you publish a novel with a small press, then that's kind of where your career was going to stay, like with small presses. But that's not always true, and I don't even know if it's still even true. And I
Mhm.
also don't know if I would mind that at this point. Like
Yeah,
Right.
I think there's part of me is like, yeah, it'd be nice to get like a bunch of money, because you're not going to get a bunch of money from they just don't have the money. The small presses just don't have the money. A lot of them are like
Yeah.
nonprofits or,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it is legit, and it's rewarding. So, and they take weirder stuff. They take stuff that takes risks.
Yep. Stuff that'll probably help you grow a little bit more as a writer and
Yeah.
as an author than if you were trying to chase major publication. And
Hmm.
at the
And
end
if
of the
you're a
day,
poet, that's like your only outlet,
yeah.
pretty much. Poetry, it's like that's where you publish your poetry books. So, yup.
I
Well,
think it would be cool to have all your stuff in one place too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody could go find all of your, major public works,
Yeah.
releases or whatever right there. So that's another cool reason
But
to.
I'm also terrified that they're like, no, we don't want this. That they're gonna be like, no, we don't want this. And then
no,
like
no,
literally
that's
I'll be
okay.
so sad. And so I haven't sent it yet, because I'm like, no,
Yeah.
what if they're like, we don't want your novel because it's not as good as your story collection? And then I'll just be like, yeah.
Well,
So
I'm giving you my
mosquito.
good luck and power. So hopefully,
Thank you.
when you get there, It'll be good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'm excited.
Thanks for having me
I
on.
pre-ordered the book.
We-
I'm excited.
Yay!
I
Thank
did
you
too.
so much.
Yeah.
That's so nice. When people do that, it makes me so happy. I'm like, they just spent $17 on me. That's really sweet.
It said hand delivered, so I expect to see you at my house August 4th, signing it on my porch.
You did say
Okay.
it was a small press, so
We'll make that happen.
Okay. We'll film it for the channel. Like, this is Dr. Catherine Connor signing her book, The Hanged Man, August 4th. Go get it, guys. I will link it in the description for this show.
Yay!
One final question for you, Dr. Kathy.
Yes.
What advice would you give to aspiring authors in your genre?
Ooh, and like literary.
Mhm.
I googled
think
these
I would
questions,
just-
by the way.
I think I would just tell them that try to keep a community of writers and network more than me, because I am not a networker, and I think that can be really helpful, because it does sort of matter. Like, you don't want it to matter, but I think it does matter. Like, if you go to conferences and you keep in touch with your grad school friends or whatever, and because it's there, they could be people that read for you. You could meet an agent that way, but also, not to give up, and that there's going to be rejection after rejection, and sometimes you have to sort of revisit what your ideal outlook is for how you want your books to come out, and you can find a lot of satisfaction that way.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
No.
Well, Dr.
Thanks.
Connor. Oh,
Thanks, y'all. It was so
Thank
good
you.
to see all of you.
it was good to
Yeah,
see
it was
you.
really fun.
Yeah.
It was a
Great
lot of
having you on.
Yeah, I feel like we talk about you like every other episode. so-
Aw, that's so sweet. I love that y'all remember me and talk about me.
You're hard to forget.
yeah.
I mean,
Aw.
you do have a PhD, you little shit.
That's right.
I have not said that in a long time, because the older I get, the less I feel like I have to say that, because they're just like scared of me now. They're like, oh, this older woman.
That's the
She just
bonus.
like my freshmen are get scared of me because I've got such a loud
Nice.
voice. They're like,
Is it because of the little cloven hooves though that you wear?
oh yeah. No, it's because I'll get loud and be like, what are y'all doing on your why do you have your laptops out? And they'll all of a sudden just be like, they're like, not. I think it freaks them out, and yeah, it's funny. It's just different. Like, the older you get, the more respect you get in the field, I think, if you're a woman. Probably for men too, but mostly for women, I think. Because when you start out young teaching college, you're close to their age, and they don't. Yeah, it can be tough. It's like, okay, they don't respect me.
It was fun, but we always respected you.
Y'all did. When I first started, it was harder because I was only 30. When I first started it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and my students were like 8 years younger than me, so it was like, that was tough, because it was like they didn't want to listen to what I had to say sometimes. But that is one thing that gets better with age. Yeah.
Well, there you go. Don't let your
There's
back
one
hurt.
thing.
Yeah.
Don't let
That's
your
the
back
one
hurt.
thing. The one thing. Everything else is like, ugh.
Everything else
what's happening?
one good thing.
Yeah.
Do not do it. That's what my grandpa always used to tell me. Don't get old. It's no fun.
Yeah.
I didn't plan on it, but somehow.
And we're not even old yet. We're just middle-aged.
I
Like,
know.
we're
It's
more
terrible.
middle-aged than you. I can't imagine, like, it's gonna suck the older, but whatever.
Yeah, we have the
Can't
internet
stop
at
it.
least.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think Noel Fielding summed it up best. Once the boulder of 40 hits you, every birthday after that is just a pebble.
Hey, you should feel like, hey, I've made it this far. This is great.
Yeah.
Like, we're writers. We just like, oh, it's chapter 36. It's chapter. Yeah,
right.
the story's so fucking convoluted at this point.
Now I'm in part 3. I've got to part 3.
Yeah.
I've made it to the last one.
You never know. You might make it to 120 on accident.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No, I don't want to
Oh, dear God, no.
Mel Brooks just hit chapter 100 and the homeboy is still writing. So, I mean, knock
He
on
did.
wood. I don't want
He
to be the
did.
podcast that kills Mel Brooks.
That is absolutely true.
Take that burden off of me. Well, thank you so much for joining us tonight, Kathy. It has been
Thank you.
phenomenal. You're a
Yes.
fantastic guest, and we'd love to have you on again. So hit us up
I
when that
will be.
novel
I
takes
would
off.
I would love to be on again. And thank you
Awesome.
so much. It was so good to see y'all.
Good to see you too.
Bye.
You too.
Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
So, guys.
Wait.
How do you turn this damn thing
Oh,
off?
there we go.
I thought you were ending it, Frankie.
No, she was on for stay for a half hour, and I was like, oh, for a full hour she was here. Like, that's awesome, because I wanted to give a prompt for next week. And I was like, oh. But that was awesome. I'm so happy she actually got to come, because she didn't get to come last week.
Yeah.
I would love to have her back.
That was great.
Very informative. I feel like I got my tuition's worth now.
Now.
a bonus.
It took a while.
A long while.
Yeah, it took a while, but yeah.
I mean,
We
Nick
got
Mary
it,
did
man.
give me some grammar pointers, and that kind of helped ease the burden of my $100,000 of debt. But so
Yeah.
I just wanted to end the show with you guys and like give our prompt for next week.
Okay.
Fun.
As the character watches the hibachi chef prepare their meal, something seems off. What is it?
I already know what it is.
That's not a
I hope
shrimp.
everybody doesn't think the same thing that I think, because that would be a really weird next show.
We just all go away, write the same thing, come back and all read the exact same thing.
You know,
4
it would
times.
be comedy gold right up until the fourth person started reading it. And that's like, hey, all right, good night, everybody.
And then I would be the one going forth, so everybody like, that fat bitch copied everybody.
I'm going to give everyone the assignment. The title of the piece is, "You're telling me a shrimp fried this rice?"
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. If you think I'm not stealing that, you've hit your head.
You think we don't have shrimps in the back that can fry some rice? Come on. Dude, they actually are just sea animals, guys. Like the main character is an urchin. Okay.
Yeah. What if
A fucking shrimp did fry that rice? Yeah.
Weird sequel to Finding Nemo.
we found him? Oh, but at what cost?
Found him.
Oh.
The only appropriate sequel to Finding Nemo is Found Sashimi.
Oh
gosh.
But didn't they actually have a sequel to Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess Finding Dory is a sequel.
I think it's a prequel, isn't it?
No, it's a sequel.
It's a sequel? Okay.
It's a legit sequel.
They put a receding hairline on a fish. And I don't know if I'm sad or impressed, honestly.
How many fish have you known?
Well, I killed Crimmy. So
Yeah,
Okay, well, he doesn't count. He didn't get to get old.
Never had the chance.
It's not my fault, though. His tank caught on fire, and I had to unplug him.
I
was like,
the water caught on fire. What?
I have questions.
It was the top of the tank, like where the light is, and I was like, is that the filter, the heater, or the light? So I just unplugged everything in a panic, and I think he froze to death.
You're looking over there as if he's still there.
Yeah, did you throw him out?
Yet.
My boy. Is the fish with us?
He is. He's over there, upside down, like blub. Like I gave my cousin the tank and everything, and like she had surgery today. She's like, "I'll come get it when I'm done with surgery." And I'm like, "Okay." So I gave her the fish, but he died before she could get out of surgery. So, damn
it,
I'm a horrible person. I don't know if you guys know, and I feel so bad. Like he was doing the blub blub thing, and I was crying my ass off. And Mom was like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Crimmy's dying." He's like, "You killed him. Why are you sad?" I don't know.
I'd like to point out that this is all still part of the episode.
Yeah. Peta is going to have my ass. I gotta get us a soundboard because this one sound ain't fucking cutting it. There were more, and I accidentally X'd out of them. I broke it.
You could never get them back.
No, like if I hit plus, if I hit the thing to add one, it pulls up my files. Like I personally have the files on my computer. Like no, that
There's
came
some
with
there.
the show. Yeah, there was another one that was like, and I fucked up.
Gone forever.
Yeah, Tootaloo.
Just look
All
for
right.
woo.mp3.
Yeah. Woo. My computer's so old. My GarageBand doesn't even have the little MIDI things that you can make loops with anymore. I have to do that on my
I thought you
laptop.
just got a new computer though.
It's a 2019. It's refurbished.
Oh, that's true.
So by refurbishing it, they took all the shit out of it.
At least it runs.
Yeah. So, well, guys, is that all we have to say tonight? Are we
That's it.
capped out at the end of Kathy Connor?
We gave him 2 hours last week.
How did you like Kathy Connor, Patrick?
He was pretty great. I won't lie. You guys kind of undersold it.
Don't let her hear that.
No, she'll be back with a vengeance.
Excuse me?
And her little cloven hooves. She's like, all right, Patrick, you want the full experience? Click, 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 click.
She was fun. I had a good time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. Thank you if you watched this, Kathy. Thank you for coming on. It was good to talk to you again.
Thank you so much.
It's really nice. We're all writers in here. She's a writer too, but she's also like a professor. So it's like awesome.
She's the reason
she has a PhD. You little shits.
Yeah.
If you thought what she was saying was a bunch of corn, I want to tell you, it wasn't corn. It was freaking solid gold.
Yeah, it was good. It was real good.
How many followers do we have this week, Frank?
17 still.
Oh, well, we didn't lose any.
Next week we'll have more.
Yeah.
Maybe we lost one and then we gained a new one. So welcome, potential new person. Yeah. And goodbye, old person.
The sister half of my sister came back. So we're at a full 17.
What AA group listens to like as they sip their coffee? They're like, I don't know, it's better than drinking, I guess. Barely.
There's some crackhead in the corner going like, "This is my new fix, man. This is my new fix."
I don't know. I'm triggered them talking about how much we want to do cocaine. So
keep mentioning heroin, damn it.
I'm gonna write a novel.
Stay strong. Yeah, stay strong, guys.
You got this. We love you. Thank you so much, Kathy Connor. Our prompt for next week: as the character watches a hibachi chef prepare their meal, something seems off. What is it? That prompt will be in the Discord probably before the episode's up, so you can go on, check it out. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. We have nothing posted, but we'd appreciate it. And there will be a link to Kathy's book, The Hanged Man, available for pre-order through Amazon, and it will be hand delivered on August 4th. Kathy has a lot of shit to do on the August 4th. Luckily for her, classes don't start until later. So I have been the Francis Bartholomew Valentine.
I have been Sarah.
I've been Patrick.
Just Frank over here.
And this has been the Workshop Podcast. Thank you all for tuning in. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.